So I have over 4 years clean. I've built a pretty good life for myself now. I found a really good guy in sobriety, one who is not an addict. I made a point of when I got clean, I saw all these people going to NA and following the program and all that. And I went a little bit. I'm not going to knock it for anybody, you know. That's what works for you, that's fine. But here's my theory on it. For one, it's a little culty. There's chanting and clapping. That's culty. It is a good community of people. I mean, I've been to a bunch of NA meetings, and I've been, you know, through it. I've had other years where I was clean. I had communities in the NA community, and I would use after that. So this past time, I tried something I never did before. I not only went inpatient, which I would always do, but when I got out, I went to a sober living, which I never did. I always just went to someone's house that I knew, which is normally a drug person. So not the best thing to do when you get out of rehab. I went to the sober living. I didn't last there very long, not because of using, just not very good with rules. I'm sure some of you could relate. So the whole, like, I had to be in by a certain time of the night. Like, I was already being sneaky, going on a date with a guy I met, who was not an addict, not a recovering addict, never been, a bit of a workaholic. So, yes, a work addict, which is okay when you have balance. You know, a workaholic that just does work and lets their relationships suffer, then yeah, that's an addiction that is not good. He's more of a workaholic, like he's always doing something, which is good. It's a great inspiration for me, since there was a lot of times I did nothing. But that's one of the reasons I didn't continue in the NA group and everything, is because I would see people in there 38 years clean, you know? And then you hear that they eventually went out again. After 38 years clean. Why? My thought is that you every day would bring yourself back to where you were. You know? They say, like, spread the word and, you know, help other addicts. Well, here, this is me doing it without having to be around other addicts. My sobriety is more important than anybody else's in my world. So I'm not going to do anything to jeopardize my sobriety, even if it's helping someone else with theirs. When I left the rehab, I made a lot of friends. Some of them are still clean, some of them had died, and some of them are out there still. When I left the rehab, we were all very close, and I told every one of them, I love you as a friend, but if you start using, I'm not going to be able to be friends with you, because my sobriety and getting my children back was more important than the friendship. One friend, she was an alcoholic. Alcohol's not my problem. I was a heroin addict. Heroin, cocaine, ketamine, crack. But alcohol, I don't have a problem with alcohol. You know, someone can drink in front of me, it's not a big deal. I can have a glass of wine and still have half the wine left and leave, you know, because I'm done with my dinner. I am happy I didn't shun her, because she is one of the ones that are dead now. She had trouble stopping, and It was hard for her, but she was already too far gone. Because it wasn't, 6 months, a year later, and she was dead because of bleeding out, and she got cancer. But I got a phone call from her in Mexico, and she was doing her bucket list. So, I was happy for her. She knew she was dying. She knew, she found out she got cancer, and she knew she wasn't going to be able to stop drinking. And so she made the best of it. Go do your bucket list, I would do something that scared me every day when I was younger. And that really helps you get through some fears. This is one of them. I have a problem with public speaking. And I know you're not in front of me, there's no public. So I'm trying to just imagine that no one's ever gonna see this. So that it's easier for me to just speak and be myself, and I don't know. Let's see. Yeah, I went to this sober living house, and again, didn't last long. I wound up moving in with the boyfriend. But aside from living situations, I went to inpatient, then outpatient, and then I did aftercare so that I can continue my therapy. I not only had a counselor, I also had a therapist, and I had an outside therapist as well, because I knew once I was done with the program completely, because the last thing is aftercare, I wasn't going to be able to continue to go to my therapist, which I really enjoyed her. I've had some good therapists that have helped me. Here's a little trick. Don't use therapy as a journal or a diary. If you go in there and all you do is complain about your daily affairs every time. If you go in there and you're having a bad day and it's something you got to talk about, then yeah, talk about it, But if every time you go in there and that's all you're doing with your therapist, then what are you working on? So I would go in with like a specific plan or detail that I wanted to work on. Anger was a big one. I think I had 2 straight therapists just working on anger alone. I'm much happier now. I can imagine things now and have them be realistic and actually have a joy in my heart from just my imagination, instead of when I was imagining everything, which was the reason why I was using. That doesn't bring joy into your heart. Like, you're trying to use to forget the things, and you just think about the things while you're using. Like, that's... I've known a lot of addicts that didn't die from the drug. Sometimes they try to die from the drug, and they don't. And then they wind up committing suicide, which in their mind is the only way out. Known a lot of people to commit suicide. The hardest one was my uncle. I was very close with him. And when you feel like not one person out there loves you, I've had the feeling before. If you feel like no one loves you, it makes it easy to kill yourself. The only problem is there's no fucking way no one loves you. There's one, at least, if not many more. You know? I feel bad because he called me the night he did it. And I rushed him off the phone so I could do heroin. I felt horrible about that. When it happened, he did it in like a forest where people would walk their dogs, and that's what it was. Someone that was walking their dog through the forest in the morning. I saw him hanging from a tree, and I had registered his car, so it was under my name. So I guess when the cops found him and all the things, they came and found me. Luckily, my dad was there, and he went to do the look at the body and make sure it's, it is who it is. I don't think I would have been able to do that. After which, I proceeded to buy crack a lot because he was a crack addict, so I would buy crack and go into the woods where he was and smoke and walk around trying to find the tree. There's all trees. They're not going to have the rope still hanging there. Like, how am I going to find it? I was destroyed with that. That's when things started getting really bad. Because I had my 3-year-old. I think she was 2 at the time. And you can't be a good mom if you're a crack addict or a heroin addict. You can try. You're not going to be there 100%. I worked towards getting her back. And the judge that I had he used to be a drug court judge, and they had to take him out of drug court because he was so hard on everybody and put him into family court. Still hard on everybody. They should have maybe done an assessment after his daughter died of a heroin overdose. He was taking it out on everybody who did heroin. So, yeah, he shouldn't have been a judge. He didn't do things that helped people. So even though I worked at it, and it took me the whole time, but I did all the things that they asked from me. Eventually, at the end. And that last court date, even though I had all the things, I didn't have a very good lawyer. It looked like me. I know what I look like. I could be clean. I could be sober. I look like a drug addict. I know I could walk into anywhere and be like, hey, you got this? And they'll give it to me. And I always wondered why. And it's because I look like one of them. I didn't look like the upstanding citizen the people that were trying to take my child from me did. So, when I did everything and the court dates came, rights were terminated. And that day didn't matter. It destroyed me. I was clean, a little chubby, What do you think I did that day? If being clean and doing everything, and in the end I still lost my child, what was the fucking point? So I just went right back to it. Every time I would get clean, whether it be jail or rehab or something, then and then I went back to using. People always think, oh, they OD'd because they went back and used the same amount. No, no. It's because you have absolutely no tolerance. I established that being an intravenous user, what was it, 7 times I OD'd. Because I would come back home and try to use. And each time it was a smaller amount, you know, like, okay, I know I can't use a half a bag because I OD'd last time, so let's try a quarter of a bag. Let's try an eighth of a bag. No, I established you can't even, but I couldn't even do it that way. I would start snorting it. So it was a small enough amount, and it wasn't done directly into me, you know. I mean, not that doing drugs was smart, but I did drugs in a smarter way. I think that saved me a little bit. Like my brain, like 20-something years of cocaine and crack and over a decade of heroin. You would think my brain, I mean, other than I have memory problems sometimes, but you would think I'd be, you know, I don't know, some people, they get off of drugs and they still seem like they're really on them, you know? I think because I tried to do them as smart as possible, it saved my brain from being mush, you know? This is your brain on drugs. I slept a lot. I feel like that heals it. I wouldn't let myself get too much. I don't know, some people when they're out, they start getting anxiety and freaking out. And if I was out, it was like, okay, we're done. No, it's done. You know, they're calling other people and no, just okay, now we're done. Go to bed. My boyfriend hated it too. You know, we would smoke crack and then he'd have all this anxiety when it was done. And I would be sitting there calmly and he would just be mad that I would, how come you're not going through what I'm going through? I don't know. But like, do you want to feel like that? I don't want to feel like that. I get a lot more anxiety now when I'm not doing what I'm supposed to do. You know? Like, I want to get this video out. Well, I'm like cleaning up the tables and doing the dishes and doing things that isn't what I'm supposed to do. And this entire time cleaning up the table and doing the dishes, I got anxiety. Well, speaking of anxiety, along with anxiety, there's bipolar, OCD, ODD, multiple personalities. They used to think I had depression, but that was part of my bipolar, you know. Bipolar, you're just highs and lows. I enjoy my highs, love my highs. I get so much done. I'm so productive, you know. I'm sure every bipolar or manic person loves their mania, you know. Not many other people do. My child can tell when I'm manic. I shop more. I sleep less. However, when I was in the drug world, I would stay up for days when I was manic. And then my depression would just be sleeping for days, just miserable. I don't take any medication, so I work on balancing my mania, my depression. Even if I'm manic, I'll make sure to at least sleep 3 hours. You know, if anything, any type of sleep every night. And it doesn't last as long. You know, when I was manic and I'd stay up, I'd be up for like 4 days straight. It makes you go crazy. People know. And then yeah, the depression. I don't let myself sleep anymore. I have this alarm now that shakes your bed also. It's supposed to be for heavy sleepers. Sometimes I sleep right through it. That's when I'm going to bed at like midnight and trying to wake up at 5. That's not good. Go to bed earlier, you know. I do that now. I wake up at 5. I'm not still up at 5, you know. I wake up at 5. It's really nice living a different life that I dreamed about, but I didn't actually know what it would be like. I'm happy. I have my both kids with me. I had them both taken away, 10 years apart, and that's what I mean by learn from, you know, what you do, because then what's the point of going through it? So the first time I lost my first child, and if I continued to do the same thing when I lost my second child, I wasn't learning anything from the first occasion. So I knew how to do it wrong, you know, while getting your kid back, keep doing drugs. Wait until the last minute to do all the things. So I made a point of doing this time, the second CPS case, right. The problem is CPS is the biggest kid trafficking organization out there.